Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with your hosts, Baraka the Goblin.
And Ghost, your co-host.
And you are currently listening to your first episode of Your Turn in our brand new spanking recording studio. Ooh,
Yeah,
crisper,
nice.
sounder, quieter,
Cooler.
less fridge. And yeah, there's central air conditioning over in this place because we know how to update our mausoleums. Dead people like to keep cool, you know. And it's good. It's exciting, but couple hiccups. We don't have a way to record what we're going to be playing, so this is going to be similar to our Casket Talk main show, and we're just going to talk about what has happened in this past week. There's quite a few things that happened this past week, and we're just going to have Ghost kind of record some stuff over it in the end, so you can, if you can make fun of him for any mess ups he does, or forgets to turn off the recording while he goes to the bathroom, because apparently ghosts do that. Feel free to let him know. But yeah, quite a few things happened this week. What would you like to go ahead and start with?
I think the funniest one is a Saints Row release.
Oh my god.
It is bad.
So basically, Saints Row decided to basically reboot the whole franchise. Start with appealing to the Zoomers of the Zooms, and just to the cringiest of cringe moments. Like, they basically used marketing from exclusively TikTok or some bullshit like that. It is genuinely that bad. And we're not even talking about the fundamental mechanics yet. Just the content in which they added onto it. It's just, I feel like there's a huge disconnect with just the just the content that they have.
Yeah.
I think they even disconnected with Zoomers. Even Zoomers are we just watch TikTok to be this stupid because that's where stupid people are.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's bad. And then there's mechanics like you can't kill your shopkeepers.
Yeah.
And people are like, actually, you never had to in the games anyway, so you're bitching up a storm for nothing. People had to reinstall the old ones, each individual one, and literally, you can knock them around with a certain phallic object that's, yeah. And you can kill them, intended.
Yeah.
And you can't do that now.
Well,
and you also, there's so many other weird things, you can't even kill certain, characters because it would be considered socially unacceptable.
Yeah, it's so bad. I guess the first opening voice acting or the opening dialogue, you're just cursing up a storm, and it sounds like a boomer who's like, oh, this is what kids are into, right? Cursing up a storm. It sounds so fake and forced and artificial, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's super cringe.
There's enough expletives in it that basically, even if we're not monetized, YouTube will say, "Bitch, you owe me money," because that's how bad it would go. It's bad. It's cringy bad. It's not even good cheese bad.
Yeah,
it's cringe bad. It is are you who are you appealing to?
I think it would have been okay if they just ran it as a full-on cringe, just embrace the cringe, rather than pretending that it's this new cool idea. I also know it seems like they were trying to become Fortnite.
Oh god, yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's I can't wait to see what the DLC even tries to do with it too, because they have this whole season pass that they're trying to sell too, if I recall correctly.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's bad. But yes, Saints Row, gonna be cringe. I'm really worried about where the DLC is gonna end up being, because it's gonna get even worse. Because they're gonna be they're gonna double down. Because I feel like what they did was, and I think it secures exactly what I've always felt about it too, is they just look at social media as a way to find marketing. You're like, I don't know what it means. We did all the woke stuff. What happened? Looks into social media. I guess we didn't do stuff that's woke enough.
Yeah, well, on Twitter, everybody's talking about how there's Discord mods and Reddit mods that are that assisted in developing it.
And And cringe queen Anita Sarkeesian was involved in it, as it were.
So
yeah,
it's bad.
Yep, it's bad. It's genuinely bad. I don't think there's going to be any hope for that.
What were they thinking?
They weren't. THQ's going to suffer big. I hope. The thing is, Saints Row 1, 2, 3, and 4 were doing so well with. They tried to be GTA, but more gangster, right? And then it was goofy gangster. Then, for some reason, you're a crime boss. But other stuff was still being weird. Then, fuck it, you're the president in Space Aliens.
Yeah.
You just, fucking go even further. Guess what? You're now in a living video game.
Yeah.
Just go even further. But they had to reboot it because they're like, oh, we're leaving the Gen Z behind, so now we need to appeal to them. And what do they like? Let's look at social media where over 80% of them aren't really on.
Just admit it. You guys ran out of ideas.
And they just look and they just see a bunch of millennials. They're like, you know what would be great? If I changed something on something I didn't really like, but still not invested money in it anyway. That's what it is. It's just a bunch of these people patting themselves on the back for literally changing nothing. They pat themselves on the back for goals that didn't set them forward. It set somebody else back.
Yeah. Stealing your idea.
Yeah, basically. And it's just going to get worse. I'm sorry, THQ, dude. You did well with the remake of the Destroy All Humans, but you failed on this one big. It is sad and tragic. It makes me feel and
Move up to your mic.
Oh, my mic?
There you go.
Alright, there we go.
You could adjust it.
I could, yeah. There we go. Just gotta talk out of the side of my mouth now. But no, it feels like it's a
bastardized version.
It's a very bastardized version. It makes me even feel like The Blob. If they made a The Blob 3, they would somehow fuck that up. But literally, there was already woke identities in it, but they would just make there was subtle communist and socialist overtones in it, but not direct. It was so tongue in cheek that you would have to dig deep for it and stuff. The game's overall fun and all that too, but they would make that as a whole discussion. It's bad.
Well, they could smash capitalism by not selling any copies. Yay!
Yeah, woo! Congratulations! You just smashed capitalism and your capital. Fantastic.
Wah, wah.
Speaking of trying to smash the capital, what is Nintendo doing? They're trying to team up with Denuvo to try to do some DRM bullcrap that Denuvo will probably brick your Switch with. Ew. So, I was trying to describe what people are doing. They're like, oh, well, we're allowed to do this and this. And it's technically, you can, I guess, You can make photocopies just like you can make copies of your book, make photocopies of a book, but you can make copies, emulate your games. Those are technically legal things, right? But people are saying you can do whatever you want with them. Thing is, people are trying to say the Nuvo's going to break your Switch because you want to try to put Mario on PS4. The problem is that's still illegal, because even if you have a physical version, you don't own any of the IP. Okay, you don't own the characters, you don't own the colors, you don't own the designs, the story, everything about the game, just like a book and all that, you do not own. But you own the book. The book is a definitive proof that you have the right to access that content whenever you feel comfortable, right? Whenever you please. The thing is, when you try to put stuff like Mario on a PlayStation, you're doing something illegal. Because your right, your digital right, is on the original copy, And if they put it on something... The thing is, you're protected by so many, free speech and privacy laws that they can't just up and investigate that.
Yeah.
But people are trying to use that as oh, they're attacking me because I can do this. No, the Nuva's just dumb. The whole DRM's dumb, but it's like I can see on a corporate end why they're trying to do that because it does take money out, and people keep saying no.
We'll see what more I want to see more context of what it is because I have a feeling it might not be the first party stuff. I have a feeling that it's going to be third party stuff.
I could see some third party.
Yeah,
I could see some third party that's going to do it, and then they're the one game that never sells because the DRMs on it that's just destroying the game's experience.
Yeah, screw it. I'll just wait. I'm not gonna. I never really. What is it? Most games I play don't have Denuvo on it.
Yeah.
But if it does, I just tend to avoid it. So it's like, well,
I purposely avoid Denuvo.
Why would you punish me for being a paying customer?
Yeah.
I understand if you want people to buy it, but if they don't want to buy it, they're not going to buy it.
Yeah, they're not going to buy it. And what's funny is I like the defense I've seen a lot of times. Piracy has helped make games better. We don't have any definitive evidence of that. If I made a indie scene, right, and somebody pirated it, and the only people who ever played it is the people who took it for free on pirating, then I made no money.
Yeah.
Well, you got word of mouth. Congratulations. I can't pay my bills on, hey, did you know I'm good at making this game? Did you know my game was good? Yeah, nobody's going to buy into that.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. People need to buy games. And people keep saying and using like the small fraction. They're like, well, Pokemon Diamond became so popular because it was one of the most pirated Pokemon games out there. So it became the most selling game out there. No, there's no connection between the two.
Well, it's just if you want
you're
sequels,
only using those, but how many other people who are like think about how many people who are losing money and tanking over people pirating music or their books or whatever to a point where they're not making any money because it's easier to just get it for free from Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not using all those examples because you want to use the three examples like look how popular Nintendo is with this. I'm like, yeah, but so-and-so games doesn't exist anymore because they made one game and it was pirated to a point where they sold only 12 copies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that doesn't count. This is one of those it's not real socialism arguments. It's always, it doesn't count until it does.
Yeah.
It's dumb. And Denuvo is basically making sure people want to do more pirating. You literally destroy shit, Denuvo. Stop it. You're ridiculous. Denuvo sucks ass. So hard.
And speaking of sucking ass, PlayStation 5, right?
PlayStation 5 is raising the prices on everywhere but North America. Well, no, they're doing it in Canada too. And outside the United States, they're raising the prices of all their PlayStation 5s. Woo!
I think it's the maximum is
there you go,
5
Sony.
to 10%.
Now you've done scalped yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. No, they just need to censor more games.
We are really good on segues this day. It really helps when we're not playing shit.
I know. They should need to censor more shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they need to censor more shit. I saw a couple on knees that need to get blacked out, guys. Like that just getting like there was a brick in the wall today, and I was like, well, that's a little too suggestive. We need to kind of actually block that. Just saying, I hooked I hooked up Sony to it. I'm like, hey, dude, you need to fix that shit. That's probably why Square still likes working with Sony a lot more than any other company. You think you're like, what? Crystal Chronicles selling better than my traditional series? No, I can't put blocks on people's ice balls. So, yeah, they're gonna be raising the prices. How much?
I think 5 to 10%.
Oh my god!
I just know 10% is way too much. So.
Well, 10%, that's just an extra $50.
That's still a lot.
But in the grand scheme of things, people are willing to pay a couple $100 over a price.
Yeah, true.
So
if you can even find one too,
it's a lot now. But when you think about all the people that are still hunting it down, they're willing to pay $200, $300, $400, $500 over price.
True,
and that's it.
Yeah,
like they're willing to. So 10% isn't much, but that also tells you they reduced the price of then they change the fans to weaker fans or something like that.
No, there's not much difference to it.
But I remember they were reduced the quality of something so they could make more of them, basically, because they weren't the quality that they had in the original PS5s were so like were in such a demand that they couldn't get those pieces, so they replaced. I think it was the fans.
Yeah.
With another quality fan. That
It was
a lower
like-
quality fan. Now,
it was
when
a heat
I'm not
sink.
saying
They changed the heat sink.
Okay.
I watch Austin talk about it too. It's not too much of a difference.
Well, the thing was that they did do that, period. But when you think it's not that much of a difference, but when you think about the fact that they're trying to print, I don't know, 1 million of them at a time, that's a significant difference.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I just saved 50 cents on this can of beans. But if you always eat beans and you eat 10 cans of beans a week, that's $1.10. That's that adds up. And then when you think of it as a broad scheme company that makes millions of consoles, millions of everything else, that's a lot of money. Even though it's not that much, it's a lot of money to them.
Yeah.
So when you think of them raising money to just $50 and it's a lot to you, imagine what they're trying to do right now, and it makes you wonder, what are they losing right now? Or maybe they just did that because they had that lawsuit that they just lost.
Well, did they lose?
Yeah, supposedly they just, or no, it was filed.
It's being filed. It seems so frivolous, though. I still think it's
stupidity.
I still think it's a frivolous, dumb lawsuit, though.
I think it's a frivolous lawsuit, but I think they're going to settle out of court.
I don't even think it's going to land, because it's kind of like
$6 billion. Like how? No,
Nah,
they're going to probably settle out of court if it drags on too long. It'll be like $150 million or something like that.
Well, who's filing it?
It's supposedly a joint lawsuit or something like that. I forgot how they call it.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know. It's unless this was something like we really know, because
well, somebody tried to sue Nintendo. Mario. They tried to sue him for being Italian. No, they tried to sue Nintendo for the Joy-Con drift.
Yeah.
For like what, 1.4 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
And that didn't really stick, even though Joy-Con, like, the problem is the Joy-Con drift is so prevalent enough to be known all the time, but in the grand scheme of how many people have a Switch, how many people play with the Joy-Cons, how many people have no problem, how many people don't report, like you can always report. You can't confirm every person who hasn't reported got drift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can only assume that they didn't. That's why they're not reporting on it. You know? It's like saying you're dead until you are proven otherwise. No, it's easier to say that somebody's alive than confirm they're dead until they're confirmed dead. You know, you can't prove it. You can't prove a negative. You know.
But I don't know. It seems kind of frivolous, though.
Oh, I feel like it's trying to drag Sony. Like, it's probably one of those type of things. And honestly, I could feel like their competitors are probably feeding into it too.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Microsoft going, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and do this now because you're throwing a tantrum."
Charge cheaper games. Although, I mean, the person does have has a point. I remember when I can't remember who it was, but people were complaining about DLC and special editions and $60, and they're like, "Well, it costs us a lot to make the packaging and to put on store shelves, so $60 plus DLC is justified. Now everything's going mostly digital. Why are our digital games costing as much as in-store discs?"
Well,
the digital being cheaper?
part of that is also because of retail. Retail doesn't want to hold on to games forever.
I know.
If people are just going to digital anyway and buying the game for $20 less or $10 less or whatever, right? They're not going to do it. So there's been agreements with retailers that they're going to keep it roughly the same price. So of course they will allow digital sales and all that, but you know, it's just another storefront. I do remember back during the Wii era, just before the PS3 and all that started kind of ramping up. They're talking about Walmart and Target and all that having digital storefronts on each individual console. And I'm like, how's that going to fucking work?
Yeah.
You know, because then you're going to have to, what if one storefront has your game cheaper than the other one, but then that company tanks and the other one's like, oh, I guess I have this then. And like they just turn it to $70, you know, because they're the only fucking storefront. You know, like that's a stupid way to do it. That is
no
a
more
genuinely
corporations,
stupid
please.
way. You know, that is a genuinely stupid way to do it. And this was when everybody's still shitting on indies. Like you're not game enough. You know, and like indies are starting to dominate everything, which is such a good thing. But like it's just the whole trying to control your digital assets because of all of that, and then you don't even like give people a reason to buy your game digitally anymore. You know, like I wouldn't like honestly. I would rather spend the extra $20 to get a physical copy because I know physical copy is a lot better in the end. And people are like, well, you can always just store all of everything. I'm like, yeah, but if for one reason I plug in that storage device and the power goes out for whatever reason, it could be a sunny day and a squirrel eats the transformer. They could likely be all gone.
Yeah.
You know, the surge of electricity just boom, gone.
The one thing I don't like about collector's edition is that like physical to like digital is when they're both the same price. So like one you'll have the art book,
the digital deluxe crap.
Yeah, so like it's $90. You get the game and like all these cool little extras, but the digital version is $90, but you don't get the physical stuff.
But you get the costumes, digital deluxe pro. Well, here's the problem with the collector's editions, and people complain, oh, well, they're too expensive. The thing is, collector's editions literally have the reason in their name. It's for collectors.
They make the most money out of it, too, so...
It is for collectors.
Really support them. That's like the maximum way to support them.
Yeah.
So,
if you really want to support a company, buy collector's editions, because that makes their highest level of capital is through them.
Yeah.
But the name exists in like for a reason. It is for collectors to collect. Those things usually are on the shelf to show. And most of these collectors will just buy the game outright too, in some way. They'll probably buy it for, on sale or something later on or whatever. But they want the collector's edition. In fact, part of this little new studio has a bunch of those things, from Stubbs the Zombie to Fire Emblem Warriors to World of Warcraft ad nauseum. Everything on this wall. It is glorious. But, people will buy those things for the sake of collecting. That is the whole reason they have them.
And if you want, you can just go to a Walmart in the middle of nowhere and buy it on clearance.
Yeah, just in the middle of nowhere. We have a couple nowheres where we should probably actually travel to and get some Mario Legos. Those things are on sale right now on clearance.
Oh, okay.
Get excited.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's just the way it is. But so people can think, oh, collector's editions need to be lower in price. No. These digital deluxe ones need to be lower in price. Okay, so I bought this game, and the extra $10 goes to some costumes? Why can't I just unlock those costumes?
Yeah.
Why can't I unlock anything anymore, too, by the way? Like, nothing is ever unlockable. Like, the last thing I was able to unlock things in was Smash Brothers Ultimate. Before that was Smash Brothers 4. You don't unlock anything anymore. Like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Indies need to start doing some unlockable content again. Like they really need. They're like, you know what? We just added a whole new patch. We had some hidden stuff in there. You gotta unlock it. Do you not know people are like, oh shit?
Yeah.
They'll actually get excited about that instead of log in, get character because we added that character today. Like no, like put a little challenge behind it. It doesn't even have to be that big of a challenge. Just get gold in whatever race they just added, or get collect all the feathers in this level or whatever. Unlock character. Ta-da! You just have to do that. I miss that type of crap.
Yeah. Because if I have the option to buy it, I'm like, I'm not going to buy it then. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm passing on that, yeah.
Yep. Then you just lost, instead of the $70, they'll wait until $25, you're just losing money.
Oh, well.
It's funny because the digital deluxe never go on sale, but the original versions of the games do. That's the hilarious part, too. So, yeah. A lot of shitty and shady business dealings going on this week. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Nah, that should be it. I mean, I'm trying to think of like anything else, but nah, we're good.
Okay. So, of course, give us a heads up on how this new studio works. We're going to be working out the kinks and all that. It's going to be glorious. And we will probably actually see if we can start doing some streams in these coming weeks. So, we're going to do a couple of tests this following week, and might have something that's an extensive Memorial Day grand opening or something like that if everything goes according to plan. So, I'd like to thank you all for listening in and liking our stuff, and if you want to help us out, just go ahead and just share our video, let people know about it. And
we will see you on the other side.